It is my pleasure to share with this governing body and the people who put us in these positions a report on the state of the great city county of Butte-Silver through my first year and a quarter in office. I will lead by highlighting some of the most important key accomplishments we've made together in this relatively short time. And I will close with some of the major initiatives we have planned for the next year, which should be exciting for all of us as we begin to chart a new future. There are only a couple of things necessary in order to make any of these things happen: cooperation and focus, which not coincidentally are the same two things that have been responsible for all victories to date. Butte is the city of champions. We know and embrace this, so the sporting analogy suits us well. Let's keep our head in the game, our eye on the ball, and let's play like a team that wants to win the title. This will be the last time I talk about this, but since this is my first report of annual progress since taking office, I think it's important to recall some of the guiding philosophies of what I ran on and how they are taking shape in the work we are accomplishing for our citizens. I didn't run on a platform of that's the way we've always done it, or if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We are the can-do city, and I challenge this community to the belief that we can do better. Change is never easy, and good enough isn't good enough. It has been and will continue to be my mandate that we can do better. We can do better tomorrow, what we did better today. Better and better. It doesn't matter what it is: community enrichment, economic development, parks and recreation, planning, or garbage. We can always improve what we do, and I am confident we are on the right track because of our people. We have a lot of our department heads in the audience tonight. We're all on board, and we're making strides day by day to instill this belief so that we can have 500 plus public employees who are all on board with us. Better and better. From the seat and position I'm sitting in right now, to the water plant operators out at Field, from the public works director across the street to the parks crews out at the Sunset Memorial Cemetery, from the laborer filling the potholes to the sanitary and inspecting a favorite eatery. We are committed to doing better and better for our citizens day by day. There's a great quote that I like by Martin Luther King. If a man is called to be a street sweeper, he should sweep streets, even as Michelangelo painted, or Beethoven composed music, or Shakespeare wrote poetry. He should sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will pause to say, here lived a great street sweeper who did his job well. Everybody in this community, not just the public employee, plays an equally important part. We need everyone else on board to be proud of what you do, and to do it always with our old Butte pride. Good enough isn't good enough. When this city grew up, we set the standards that others strive to reach. Our standard was, is, and always should be excellence. You don't get, keep, or much less deserve all these fancy nicknames by simply settling for the way it's always been. How will we know we're doing better? How will the public know? We will know because we are equally dedicated to more accountability and better transparency. We made great strides setting out new expectations as we move forward with our new performance-based budget and our first ever capital improvement plan. Goals and priorities will be set in line with a balanced budget, and we will evaluate how well we accomplish those goals and spend our citizens' dollars in every department. We have new, energized administration in public works, health, parks and recreation, disaster and emergency services, human resources, parking, and a new finance and budget director will join us in the coming month. We have a newly elected sheriff with new leadership in law enforcement, all of who are committed to the belief that we can do better and will continue to improve the lines of communication. On the transparency front, we need to remind ourselves daily that our business is the people's business. To that end, we hired a new online communications coordinator and rolled out a new website in January that has vastly improved our citizens' access to their government. The site has a transparency portal where citizens can see the weekly expenditures of their government, its contracts, agendas, and minutes from public meetings, and soon, hopefully, improved access to our council's voting records on all business. A citizen can now even file a complaint online to fill a pothole, and we'll get it done in the next few days. We work for and are paid by the people, and they rightfully deserve as many practical ways as possible to learn more about what we're doing on their behalf. We're going to continue this trend by adding live streaming video of our council meetings to the web this year. There will be more ability for citizens to gain access to applications and permits, to pay licenses, fines, and bills online. We also now have Butte-Silver social media sites, and will continue to engage the public more through these means. Our local news media also provides valuable information to our citizens. This past year, Butte-Silver employees collectively have granted over 200 interviews and appearances to our local media and civic groups, and we have developed through our new website press releases for all noteworthy events and issues our public should know about. We have proud public employees, and it's about sharing what we do with the people we work for in as many ways as possible, an endeavor that we will continue to embrace and expand upon. Better access, better accountability, and better transparency. That's a win for everyone. The last two guiding principles are coordination and collaboration, or in layman's terms, working better together. Every great thing this city has ever accomplished was not just because of our unique people, but because of our unique people's ability to join hands and get things done together. I already touched on this with the team analogy and the excellence theme, but it's worth repeating. We all have our own roles and parts to play. We all must strive to be better, and we all need to be accountable. That's called teamwork, and there's no you or I in team. Again, let's keep our eye on the ball, our heads in the game, and we're destined for victories. Inside and outside this courthouse, we are working more collaboratively to improve the way we do things. In the past year, we have formed Citizens Ad Hoc Committee to give us our first ever comprehensive historic preservation plan, a multi-agency task force to tackle suicide prevention, and another ad hoc committee working to better inform and focus how we spend our public's time and money on economic development. Together, everyone achieves more. We coordinate and collaborate to form a plan, and then we work together in sticking to it. We have a great team here, and we're working together for the benefit of our community, one win at a time. Let me highlight a few of the big ones. We got to start right off with the Northwestern Energy Project. For the past year, Butte-Silver has worked hand in hand with Northwestern Energy to make the biggest project in Butte's recent history a reality. The construction of a $25 million new general office building at the corner of Park and Main, and the saving of over 200 of the best jobs in Butte for next generations. As a side project, the same Butte-Silver staff working on the Northwestern Energy Project were able to get approval from the state and public in record time for designation of a new urban revitalization district. It was cooperation and teamwork that got us there, and it will take even more of that, including the public, as we bring the project to completion. Next, we have the manufacturing partnership proposal. Using the success of a collaborative effort between Butte-Silver, BLDC, Headwaters RC&D, MSC, and Montana Tech, Butte landed a $200,000 planning grant in September to expand our manufacturing economy. Shortly after, I went to Washington, D.C. for the White House Mayor's Manufacturing Summit. Upon my return, our Butte team from Phase 1 activated to engage in a formidable effort to bring a manufacturing community designation to the entire state of Montana. Working with the governor's office and our senior senator, John Tester, we put together a very competitive proposal that was just submitted on Monday to designate Montana a manufacturing community leader in the sector of natural resources development. In addition to our local partners, the consortium includes many public and private sector partnerships, including the governor's office, the national lab in Idaho, our Montana University system, Northwestern Energy, Stillwater Mining, the CHS refinery in Laurel, organized labor, and others. This partnership will positively affect not only Butte, but the entire state of Montana with good, solid jobs. I'm hopeful to report good news in the coming months on this endeavor. Environmental progress is something that has been in our headlines for the past 30 years. This perhaps has been the slowest moving, probably because it takes more effort and time to move mountains. But that doesn't mean we haven't accomplished some very big things. We were able to save this community roughly $15 million on major environmental construction projects. $9 million by avoiding the construction of an unnecessary addition to our Big Hole River treatment plant at Feely, and most recently, we were able to leverage the support of the Governor and Department of Environmental Quality to bring a proposal before EPA that will save us up to $6 million on the construction of our new Metro wastewater plant. These came as a result of asking questions of accountability, shedding light on difficult issues, and then working collaboratively to find more practical solutions. That's a lot of savings to our citizens, while at the same time ensuring us clean water to drink and recreate for the future. And with the practical problem solving that included the governor and his environmental staff on the Metro project, we're thankful and hopeful that we are headed in a new direction that will allow us to tackle the last of our Superfund issues in town. Again, these are just a few of the big things that we have focused on and been able to accomplish using the guiding principles of accountability, transparency, and teamwork. What lies ahead is every bit as exciting. Roads, planning and improvement. It's no secret that roads are something all citizens and businesses are concerned about, and so are we. For starters, last year, our Public Works road crews laid down over 7,200 tons of asphalt on our streets, nearly twice as much as the previous year. This year, the goal was to push it to between 10 and 15,000 tons. We're restructuring our roads department under the existing budget to add another seasonal crew that will allow us to do this. Public Works Director Schultz will be presenting a renewed and improved roads plan for your consideration in the coming weeks. Efforts have been very successful in forging relationships for a Montana Tech corridor as part of our new urban revitalization planning. This is going to be huge. The new Northwestern Energy building has been described as catalytic, and we are determined to leverage this project in that way to bring major additional investments in revitalizing our uptown. It's already happening. Using the information gained by participating in the Mayor's Institute on City Design and another plan that is underway to look at making our uptown urban center more walkable, bikeable, and parkable, we will begin rolling out a major initiative this year that will focus first on the Park Street corridor and eventually give way to improving the vitality of our entire uptown. This is a collaborative effort of many agencies and private partners, as well as our citizens and businesses. We also will continue our new economic outlooks and strategies for Butte. Last year, we embarked on a new philosophy. By investing more in our own local successful entrepreneurs, we can get better returns for our economic development investments. 6 companies completed our first phase of economic gardening. Based on enormously positive feedback, we're ready to go with round 2 of the program and are confident that our data will show outstanding returns on these investments when I give this report next year. Working with the school district, Murdy, Fat Beam, and others, and thanks to a generous contribution from the Dennis and Phyllis Washington Foundation, we accomplished the build-out of a 28-mile fiber loop, making Butte the first broadband city in Montana. Since that time, we're proud to announce that on July 1st, we will be teaming up with Headwaters RC&D and the Blackstone Launch Pad, as well as the previous mentioned partners, to host a day-long Community Accelerator Masterclass for the governmental, institutional, and business leaders of our region. Here, we will develop a strategy to fully utilize and market our broadband to improve our community and economic outlook. There will be more announced on this very soon. This past year, I also held 2 public listening sessions after Senator Baucus's Montana Economic Summit to discuss ideas for what Butte can do to better its own economy. Those sessions identified invaluable feedback from outside of our government, and one thing was consistently loud and clear. Butte needs to do a better job of telling its story through better branding and better marketing. Since the last gathering in January, Butte-Silver has been working with the BLDC to address this issue. With some great input and collaboration from some other community groups, a new brand will be presented to our wider community soon for the feedback of all. And eventually, we'll roll it out this year. It'll be a big deal. Another exciting announcement in conjunction with Headwaters and Blackstone is this September, Butte will host its first Startup Southwest Montana event. The Startup program is a successful model used around the country that gives local entrepreneurs mentorship and feedback on startup business ideas, culminating with prizes and continued mentoring advice for the best of the best. Nothing is more secure than investing in our own people and businesses, and that again is something we will continue. Construction-wise, there's already a lot going on right now. With the new Emma Park Neighborhood Center and the Butte Justice Center, which broke ground just a couple of weeks ago. These 2 projects are only the beginning of over $100 million in new building construction to hit town over the next couple of years. And that's just the projects that we know about at this point in time. There's the 2 projects I already mentioned, the $25 million Northwestern Energy Project, the $30 million metro upgrades, a $30 million water treatment plant at Basin Creek, a $7 million parking structure at Uptown Butte, a $7 million airport terminal improvement, $10 million in Montana Tech's new natural resource research and development building, and we're looking forward to continuing our partnership with the National Affordable Housing Network to take on another $2 million in neighborhood stabilization housing projects in that time. Contractors and construction workers, start your engines. This is going to be big. Lastly, along the lines of working better together, I want to announce a few of the most important partnerships and initiatives that have been formed or will be formed and continue to grow in the next year. All of the new efforts planned and underway to diversify our local economy are exciting, and it's equally important to remember our roots. Mining is our namesake and will continue to give us the firm foundation upon which our city can grow. For the past several months, Butte-Silver has developed a good working relationship with Montana Resources that will cooperatively engage us more in our mutual best interests. We're codependent, and as such, we're making strides to develop a more cooperative relationship. Montana Resources has been very responsive and working with us towards solving and improving a variety of our community and local governance issues in the past year. Based on this productive relationship, we are now working with them to develop the first Good Neighbor Agreement, which will give us all a better understanding and ability to meet each other's needs. Secondly, I've talked a lot about goals and teamwork. And I think Mr. Gamrat may have mentioned some of this to the Finance and Budget Committee tonight. To that end, as part of our new performance-based budget and capital improvement planning, I'm pleased to announce that my office is going to work with the council and our citizens over the next month or so to listen to to concerns and priorities and drafting a set of goals for our local government and what it should be focusing on in the next budget cycle. Starting in the next week, I and many of Butte-Silver's department heads will be holding public listening sessions with our commissioners invited across our communities from Big Butte to Melrose. We will take that information and propose a set of goals that we hope will reflect what is important to our citizens and businesses in the upcoming budget. In closing, let's remember once again that we are all on the same team here. We all play different positions, but we're all on the same team. Sure, there will be times when one player doesn't agree with another and the fans will cheer and jeer, which may distract us from time to time, but that isn't part of the game plan. In order to achieve everything we can, we need to stay focused on working together. Let's keep our eye on the ball, our heads in the game, and let's start racking up some wins. Thank you.